Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear viewer, I welcome you to yet another exciting session of the Alhidaaayah show that comes to you every Thursday 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Today is the 5th of September 2024, corresponding to the 2nd of Rabi Uthani. The year is 1446. My name is Muhammad Sekalala, your host for the show. And on Thursdays, we look at the social system of Islam, where we want to make an effort at helping the young ones, the upcoming generation, to appreciate the Islamic guidance on the social life that we should live. And of late, we've been looking at guiding the youth in the institution of marriage. From where we started, those that have been following the show, we have been looking at different aspects that should help the young generation to better appreciate the institution of marriage. Of course, those that are already in, it should be a learning point for you to appreciate and guide the young ones. If we made mistakes, perhaps it is time to find a way of correcting them such that we continue improving the status of our communities in which we live. I want to again thank those that have been routine viewers. Thank you very much for keeping it on Salam TV. Remember, if you miss out on any aspect of the show, kindly always visit the YouTube page of Salam TV. Type Salam Alhidaaayah, and then you'll be getting all those different sessions that we've been having concerning this important aspect of the social system of Islam. Today, we want to look at something very important. Those that have been following us, last week we saw why it is important for those that want to join the institution of marriage to undergo or undertake the marriage course. And we said that the guest we had last time showed us that it doesn't have to be that academic where you can go and read books, textbooks. Rather, it is some kind of setup where you're tagged to those who are already in the institution. They guide you in about 6 weeks, perhaps before the marriage, and then you get to better appreciate things in a realistic and practical way. So today, we want to look at what is called intentional goal setting. With my guests today that I have, we shall be looking at what we call intentional goal setting. So before we go into that, let me invite and request our guest to say salam. And the guest is none other than Hajat Nanyanzi Hadija Mariam. She's a counselor and CEO of Palm Professional Counselors. Please say salam and greet the viewers.
Thank you so much, dear viewers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maybe Hajat in a minute or two. Who is Hajat Hadija Nanyanzi Mariam? Before we can go into the topical discussion.
Hadija Mariam Nanyanzi, yes. She's a mother of 6. She's been married for the last 20 years.
MashaAllah.
She's a teacher by profession as well as a professional counselor. And she's the founder and CEO of Palm Professional Counselors, a Muslim-based counseling firm.
MashaAllah.
And she's also a da'i who works with Alhidaaayah Foundation. That is my mother body that has groomed me up to date.
MashaAllah.
Yes.
So viewer, I think you have got that rich CV. She's a mother, 20 years experience in marriage, a mother of 6, a teacher by training, a counselor by practice
and profession,
founder and CEO of Palm Professional Counselors and a member of Alhidaaayah Foundation. I understand very well she's in the families department that deals with family-related matters. So Hajat,
yes.
For starters, you know, today the turnover, or what we call the rate of marriage breakups, is so high.
True.
And for all the guests I've been hosting here, the one thing we have noted is the fact that people perhaps go into marriage thinking it is a world of fantasies, a world of so many expectations.
Yes.
And then when they get disappointed, some after a week, others a month, others some even can be there for 5 years, others even 10 years. Now, today we want to look at something called intentional goal setting. Of course, those who have been to school, they will tell you that goals, they should be smart, specific, measurable, and the rest.
Yes.
But our question today is, should marriage be based on goals, or it's a question of just try and error? Let's go and see what it is. Perhaps we shall learn on job. Do you think this aspect of setting goals has a place? And if that is the case, allow me again remind you that we've been covering this as a series, and we looked at where people have gone to the parents of the lady. It has been accepted, and now they are in the process of the build up towards the nikah, and we know the nikah is the official ceremony. But now we are saying before that nikah is even done, should these people have a session of intentionally setting goals that they are going to have in the course of their marriage? So that's the background I wanted to give you and the viewers, and perhaps we should be on the same page. So for starters, when you talk about marriage goals, what should the viewer out there understand before we go into even whether it is necessary for this one first set the goals? What when you talk about marriage goals, what are we talking about here?
Thank you so much for that question. As you've mentioned that we've been having this series,
yes, please.
I am sure that people have mentioned about saying that marriage is an act of worship.
Yes, please.
And being an act of worship implies it is mandatory for us to learn about marriage.
No.
It is so surprising that it is only in, I should say, in Islam, or some of us, the way we practice it, that we get marriage certificates even before learning about marriage.
Yes, please.
Because it's when we learn about marriage, understand what it is,
yes,
that we come up with goals.
Mashallah.
That is the partners, the man and the woman. Me, as Mariam, I'm a couple strengthening expert.
Yes, please.
With my husband. So we realize that until the two people that are going into marriage decide intentionally to sit and learn about marriage,
okay,
do self-discovery, that is when they will be able to manage this beautiful institution of marriage, to keep it outstanding.
Yes, please.
Because we have a thinking that like you've mentioned, that marriage is a bed of roses. We go there with a lot of fantasies. Most people think it is about the big function.
Yes.
Which is totally different.
Okay.
Because marriage is about the two people.
Yes.
And when we talk about the two people, the husband and wife, or the couple, those people, it is very important for them to first understand what is marriage.
Okay.
Knowing that it is a beautiful institution that is an act of worship, the oldest act of worship.
Yes.
The only act that people perform together, husband and wife, unlike the other acts of worship like Salah, Ramadan, Zakah, that you go and pay.
50% of one's faith.
The 50% of one's faith, that one is too big. For example, when you're a teacher and you give your students a sheet of paper, and one of the students is busy copying or playing around when the papers are already supplied, the teacher comes and reduces 50%. How much will that student get?
Of course, below 50.
Below 50. But it is only marriage alone, just one act of worship, that stands at 50%, which is a very big portion of our faith.
So the starting point for the viewer is to understand that marriage is based on knowledge.
Based on knowledge. And it's after getting knowledge that we can come up with the goals. But when I'm in my premarital class, we normally ask the goals of the couples. Yes. They will always tell you companionship, having children. The others want financial stability and all that. But surprisingly, Allah Himself gave us the number one or the ultimate goal of marriage. Because He says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, in Surah Ar-Rum, that is chapter 30, verse 21. Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. That verse itself, it is so huge that Allah Himself is giving us the ultimate goal of marriage. Because He's saying, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, that you may find peace. Tranquility. Peace. That word tranquility, comfort. That comfort, that peace that a partner finds in another partner or in a spouse, is the #1 goal that leads to the other goals of children.
So the primary
financial
goal
stability
for this marriage should be comfort.
After Allah telling us that, don't forget that it is the two of these people, after getting all that,
yes,
that their mind should be on the point that at the end of the day, we are doing this marriage to attain Jannah.
Allah.
Because as a Muslim, that is the paramount. Our #1 is to attain Jannah. How do we attain Jannah?
So aside from the specific goal that Allah has given you
of peace and tranquility,
so you too should even work towards Jannah.
Definitely so.
As the farmer.
That is the farthest, that is the biggest goal.
So that tranquility should translate into Jannah.
Definitely. Where you are together, working together, communicating, deciding on things, the two of you. But the challenge we have is that we go into marriage with different goals, and we forget about these goals that Allah gave us Himself.
So it is what we want to guide the young ones today. So dear viewers, we are looking at intentional goal setting. We know sometimes that you're told, why are you going to school? And the reason will be
want to get better grades.
I think I want to pass and then get a job, something like that. But you also don't seem to have a picture of when I finally graduate, what happens next. So want perhaps to shed light on what you should expect there in terms of intention or being intentional. So Hajat, you have given us a good start that one, marriage should be based on knowledge, and it is that knowledge that should help you set the goals, right? And now we are talking to people who have perhaps 3 weeks, others a month, others 3 months. You know, of late, I think you also belong to different WhatsApp groups, and you find there, for example, I have about 4 different wedding preparatory meeting WhatsApp groups, and you find that when you try to probe what are the goals these people have for each other, let's first finish the function, we shall see. They say we shall cross the bridge
when they reach there. That question is so surprising in pre-marital classes. Yes? It is so surprising that people sometimes they get stuck when you ask them, what are your marriage goals? People just keep quiet for a moment, they take a breath, then think of what to answer. Then they give you, I hope to get children. So you ask, if you don't get children, what will happen to the marriage? Because Islam is so broad that He gave us that opportunity, where if you don't have children, you don't have to quit the marriage.
Yes.
But people just say, I just want to have children, companionship, and you ask them, in case you don't get companionship, what will happen?
What will happen?
And they get stuck.
Okay, so Hajat, kindly now guide us. What are some of the goals that these people should set? You've given us the general one.
Yes.
That is Allah's guidance. Now, practically from the interactions we've had, you're a mother of 20 years experience in marriage. I want to believe you also set those goals before entering the marriage. Sometimes it would have been you as a person, or you
the two of you as a couple.
So let's start first things first. In terms of marriage setting, what should the environment be? How should these people, perhaps, if they want now to sit down and talk about their marriage goals, what are things they should look out for, and what factors, or what are specific goals they should perhaps highlight, instead of being fanatic? Is it what? Being in a world of fantasies.
The beauty of Islam is that it gave us everything on table.
MashaAllah.
Because when you look at the Prophet's saying, where he says that many people marry women for 4 reasons.
Yes.
He mentions beauty, he mentions the religious background, he gives us the financial background of the person and the deen.
Yes.
And then he also comes on to the side of the man, and he says, for the man to be, for the woman to go into a man's relationship, she should only look for only 2 things. The Prophet brings out 2 things, that is, the man's character or morals or discipline, and then his deen. When you look at deen on the man's side, and also look at deen at the woman's side, it is the dominant factor. It is the one that is common. Now it implies that even before these 2 people come together, they already, as an individual, have a personal goal and the man also has a personal goal. Then after the personal the individual goals, then the two of us come together to set realistic goals, or goals we want to achieve. Now after knowing that Allah is talking about, I mean the Prophet ﷺ is talking about deed on the side of the man and deed on the side of the woman, it becomes compulsory that
should be a #1 goal.
Shall we be able to move as a couple, as partners, following our deen?
Okay, it could also involve building onto others' deen.
Exactly. That maybe the husband is weak somewhere, the wife can help, or the wife is weak somewhere and the husband can push. Because we look at this deen as something that will help us even achieve the greater goals.
Actually, it reminds me, somebody told me that marriage is two people coming together with weaknesses and seeing how
strengths, yes, and see how to live with him.
So what goal number should be how to improve each other religiously. Because one denominator that joins the two of us is our religion.
If you fail on that, because we always say that it doesn't go wrong unless it started wrong. It only goes wrong after beginning in a wrong way. So when you decide now, I've seen so and so, and his deen is good, and my deen, I'm also sure of my deen, at least I'm practicing, compared. I'm not 100%, but I'm somewhere. 50-50, I can add on 60. After knowing that, then we set the ones we want. For example, we talk about the children.
Before we go to the children, that deen aspect is very interesting, because perhaps it should be the foundation of all marriages.
Definitely.
There's a question I want you to help us understand. There are cases where, actually, before I even go to that, we have noticed of late that you find that sheikh is not comfortable marrying a sheikha.
True.
A Hafiz is not comfortable marrying a fellow Hafiz.
Yes.
Right? And they want to marry from, I think, from
different ages.
Yes. But you find when this sheikh gets a lady who is not strong at religion, he wants to convince himself that he will teach her.
Which is very hard.
Cut her
almost
from
impossible.
All external sources of learning. What will be your comment on that? Don't you think it is going to negatively affect the goal of us progressing?
Now the challenge comes in to ask, when we look into deen, we come in to ask, how do we understand deen?
Hey, I thought being a Hafiz, being a sheikh from those different
institutions, it's totally different.
They are different.
Yes, because we don't look at deen. Definitely, there is a difference between knowledge and practice.
Some people are knowledgeable, but the practice
is wrong, and others are knowledgeable, but the knowledge is, should I say, it is on the lip. It's a lip service.
Yes.
It's not from the bottom of the heart. So when we are talking about deen, one, it should be from the bottom of the heart. Then from the heart, it becomes manifested in the actions, in the words, so the way you behave.
Should translate into practice.
Practice, definitely. So this issue of thinking that, I've seen a sheikh because she has niqab, I've seen a sheikh because of a good beard, the cut trousers and the kanzu, that is not enough to define deen.
Of course, that will be the justification. Say, please, I can teach you whatever you want. No,
it's not enough to define deen, because as a person seeking for a partner, you should go an extra mile to learn this person inside and out. And you may say, now, how can I learn the inside of the person?
Okay.
You can learn the inside of the person through smart questions, understanding this person, seeing the way this person behaves, because there are small things. For example, you've boarded a taxi and you've paid 5,000 shillings and the route you are taking is for 1,000. All of a sudden, the conductor gives you back 5,000.
Yes.
But when the route is just
1,000.
But for someone who is having deen deep in the heart,
who say, okay, excuse me,
you say, please, you've not taken back your 1,000. Please give me 4,000.
Actually, take it the other way around. It was 1,000. The conductor gives you back less than you expected, maybe 3,000. Says, please, you gave me too much money, so I'm also taking off. And the reaction there should define who that person.
We are looking for that person who is intentional and very conscious of the deen from the inside out. That it comes from the inside, then it is manifested out.
So in other words, what I am picking from your discussions, the fact that in the case of interaction, in the courtship, process, because we are not yet there into the nikah.
You are still dating,
the way we are,
in courtship.
Actually, they call it dating in the Gen Z language. So people are appreciating my husband, my wife to be has weaknesses in this in terms of religion, and that should be your goal to set.
To learn this pattern.
You might not even tell them that I've seen you have this weakness, but perhaps you could.
How can you improve on this weakness? If that weakness is, it is relative, because there are those ones that make a nightmare, you know. So when you understand that partner, they are doing that it is not a lip service. Someone is not just good at saying verses of the Quran or dressing Islamically, but when the actions are opposite. Like of recent, when they showed a guy who was putting on a very nice kanzu and a very nice cape, and he's stealing from the mosque, you know. So we don't know, is he stealing because he's too religious or what? So it is beyond the outside appearance
goal
of
number
dress.
one, dear viewer, goal number one is how do we improve individually in terms of our religion. Put it as a goal. He's a hafiz, but perhaps he needs to improve on the practice. He's a sheikh, but he's weak at ABCD. Me, I've stopped in Yasaruna or Kabalaza, as they say it, but I have my own strength. Perhaps. Do
you have the intention to improve on your salna? Or you are against improving on your salna? Because those are the things we should look at. If someone is against, then you mean, then as a person going with this person, you should think twice. Can I help this person?
So is there
push her to another level?
Like some 2, 3, 4 years back, it was a trending statement of potential. That have the potential, that should have the potential of sitting down to see that we improve.
Yes, we look at that will.
So the issue is the will, and
if this person has the will to improve, well and good. But if that person is so adamant, very reluctant, then you find it hard. Because it is very important for the two people to be at least close in terms of understanding that deen. Because it is the principle.
So where you have two extremes, somebody is so religious, another one is very...
That is the way we have the problem today.
The problem will be.
That's why today it's very absurd to mention that most of us sheikhs, their wives or their families are struggling.
So he didn't want to get a sheikh at all
who will reason him out.
He wants
they fear reasoning out. And by the way, you bring out this thing.
I think we shall start the discussion on, let's hold it there. The issue of how do we now help these two that are on the extreme to see that they also perhaps come to a middle line and build the marriage institution together. Viewer, we are looking at intentional goal setting before marriage. Those of us that are 3 weeks, a month away to marriage, we hope that through this kind of discussion you'll be able to get a clearer picture of what you should be putting down as goals. Inshallah, we are going to stop for a short break and then we'll be returning.
Eno ye Salam TV. Ensi bw'egenze ekula, ebintu bingi nnyo bye tumanyi nti biri halaali bigenze biyingiramu ebitali halaali. Twesanze ng'ebintu bingi ebituwoomera maka gaffe bikoseddwa nga biyingirwamu ebintu n'enkola etali nnungamu eyinza okukosa enzikiriza wamu n'obulamu bwaffe. Wano Uganda Halal Bureau kwe kuvaayo ku lulwo okusunsula n'okwekenneenya ebyokulya n'okunywa okukakasa nti bitukagana n'omutindo gwa halaali. Awo nno gwe omuntu wa bulijjo obuvunaanyizibwa bubwo okunoonya akabonero ka Uganda Halal Bureau ku buli kyogula kubanga keekakakasa nti biri halaali. Ate gwe munna bizinesi funa akabonero kano abantu okukakasa nti by'ofulumya ne by'otunda biri halaali. Tulye halaali, tunoonye akabonero ka Uganda Halal Bureau ku buli kye tukozesa. Okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku ssimu zino 084 23 35 61 oba 0758 52 00 11. Kampeyini eno ekutuusibwako Uganda Halal Bureau ne Salam TV erewagiddwa Harris International abakolera Ona Juice ne Gibikedale Products Limited abakolera amata ga Classic. Kozesa ebiri halaali byokka woli na buli woogenda. Uganda Halal Bureau.
I'm one of the scientists now doing research on plastic technology recycling, where we can be able to produce other products from plastic waste. For example, we are trying to develop a plastic tile with sand plastic tile, that it is unbreakable, it can be shifted from one roof to another. So this is a project we are working on. It's our initiative as Kazire Group of trying to reduce waste from the environment. Brothers and sisters, Taso Butonde for a better Uganda.
This message is brought to you by National Environment Management Authority, Kampala Capital City Authority, Vivo Energy, Airco, Pepsi, Stanbic Bank and NBS TV.
Salaamu egabudde oli munna bizinesi oba olina ekitongole ekiwa obuweereza obw'enjawulo nga weetaaga kimanyike mu buli maka mu ggwanga lyonna. Salaamu TV ekuleetedde enteekateeka ya Salaamu egabudde. Guno gwe mukisa gw'ofunye by'otunda ne by'okola birangibwe ku TV yaffe Ŋŋanzi wamu n'emikutu gyaffe emigatta abantu gyonna. Weegatte ku bukadde n'obukadde bw'abalabi baffe okwetooloola Uganda yonna, era bizinesi yo yeeyongera okumanyika nga bw'onyumirwa emiwendo egisaliddwako osobola okuganyulwa okwannamaddala mu kulanga kwo. Tosobwa omukisa ssemakisa guno ogukuweereddwa. Okumanya ebisingawo tukubireko leero ku 0704-796-09 oba 0783-27-21-34. Salaamu egabudde ku Salaamu TV, olutimbero olw'emirembe. Eno ye Salaamu TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewer of Salaamu TV, this is your weekly show, the Alhidaaayah show, where we look at the social system of Islam. My name is Muhammad Sekalala. Welcome those that are just joining us, and then those that were with us in the beginning. Welcome back from the break. We are looking at intentional goal setting before marriage. Is it a question of trial and error? Should we have clearly laid out goals before we enter into the marriage institution, or we shall cross the bridge when we reach there? Today we are with Hajjata Nanyanzi Hadja Mariam, who is a counselor, professional counselor and teacher, mother and CEO of PAM Professional Counselors. Before we went into the break, we said the number one goal that you as the prospective marriage partner should be able to agree upon is how to improve each other religiously. Because as you'll discover, marriage is not about, much as a post I shared in one of the groups, it's not about only food, sharing the bed. Roles. Yes, it has a lot to do with marriage. So some people think, I think marriage is about only going to enjoy whatever they have been stopping us from enjoying. But it's beyond that. And the earlier we realized, like Haja told us, Islam is a religion of knowledge, the moment we are not aware of some of the things in Islam, we end up making mistakes. So today we want to intentionally guide you on to make those goals. So we started by saying improve each other religiously. Just before we went for the break, you were telling us about the two people who are on the extreme end of knowledge. There's one who is so religious and another one is completely, actually some people even prefer marrying new converts. Somebody was converted a week ago and then they do the nikah. And then you find the character, the behavior they are doing is completely against what you'd expect of a good Muslim. So a comment on that before we go into the other goals we can.
Now, when you look into that,
yes,
people who are at extreme ends,
yes,
it also brings us to the point that is so big that we cannot talk about today.
Yes.
The issue of personality, where we have to have self-awareness and self-discovery.
Yes.
That one of the challenges I've met during my premarital sessions is that many young people outside there, the Gen Z actually,
yes, the Gen Z,
they lack self-awareness.
Oh, wow.
People don't know who they are. what they want in life, their life goals, things that make them happy or pissed off, people are totally green.
They are totally green.
You ask someone, he's like, oh, I think I need to first think about that. But these are the things that should be at our fingertips.
Fingertips, yes.
Because if you know, for example, that you can easily get pissed off and understand your weakness, that me regarding anger,
yes,
I easily get pissed off.
So it should be a goal to see how I manage my anger.
Exactly. Now, when you get someone who is easily pissed off with a partner who is also easily pissed off, you just find themselves, they will not make a perfect marriage. Because soon after one kid,
argument after
they will be separating. So the issue of self-awareness, self-discovery is very important.
So goal number 2 should be
together.
Self-awareness.
That is very important.
Self-discovery.
Yes, that when you understand yourself, it becomes so much important for you to understand another person, because we normally say that you need to understand each other deeply.
Yes.
Why? Because marriage is a psychological way of understanding another human being. If you fail to understand yourself, you will definitely not manage some other person. For example, look at the headship that Allah gave the man,
yes,
the husband. If this husband does not understand his role, his headship as a man,
yes,
a man of valor, that person who is really a leader, if he fails to understand that, it will be very hard for him to manage another person who is a woman. Because some people say that a woman is a full course. That you need to sit and learn and
she's even in the law.
Understand.
She's even in the law because one sheikh was making a joke and said, when you marry a woman, you get her sister becomes your sister-in-law, the brother becomes brother-in-law, then the mother becomes the mother. And who is she? She's the law. So you need to understand the law called the woman. It's
very hard for you to understand another person in your life when you don't understand who you are.
Okay.
So there is that big thing.
So Hajat, of course, you know, we, like you said, some of the things require a lot of discussion. But we just want to give our viewers a glimpse of what are those things that they should appreciate. So goal 1, you told us, perhaps build on our religiosity. How to improve ourselves religiously as a goal number 1. You should know how much of Quran does your husband or wife to be have. How much perhaps do they know the Salah well? Do they know the different etiquettes of Islam? Do they,
but even without even knowing the willingness of this person, because this person might not be so much knowledgeable,
yes,
but has got the will, has the self-drive.
So the main thing is the willingness, the drive.
You might find someone who has got the knowledge, but is not practicing. Is that person as good as that one who is not?
Of course.
So that will to practice is very important.
Very important.
People have several goals for marriage.
Yes.
For example, people have a goal of children. And this is so interesting. In marriage, we have forms we give couples who have come for premarital.
Okay.
The man will say he wants 8 kids.
The lady wants
2.
2.
Yes, 2. And you remember they are filling these forms separately.
Oh my.
But all along they've been talking, but they've never talked about.
So they don't have a common ground.
A common ground on how many should they have. If you want 8, how can you tone
down to?
And this one who also wants 2, how can she also
pull up a bit,
such that the 2 people at extreme ends come to a middle point? That one brings challenges after people are into the marriage. That's why it is very important to go into premarital classes or to go somewhere and learn about marriage. Because if you understand that my partner needs 10, and I've gotten married at 33.
In their family,
they are 24.
The one who has the least number of kids has 16, and so he wants to outcompete them.
Yes, and not you've gotten married at 33 or 34. Will you compare with the 10?
Of course.
I know our dear viewers will ask, but you know Allah's will and all that. But
so if I need 10 kids, I should get married at 20 or 50.
At what age have you gotten married? I mean married. Then is there also this man comfortable with a 10?
Of course, there are some men who say, for me, I don't have money to look after more than 3 kids. When you get
but there are those even who have 3 and you cannot look after them. So this thing is so much a challenge that the 2 of you have to be sensitive.
Back to the counselors, they are the ones to help align these people in terms of appreciation.
There is this one that is so funny.
Kids, yes.
People that get married because of financial stability.
I actually put it the other way around. you know, there are different programs on TV of late, but there's a program of look for your soulmate. And this was, I want a lady who has this money, she's at this age. Then another lady also you flip the coin the other, and the lady will say, I want a man who has 5 arcades. And those realistic goals, honestly, to me. I'm tired of poverty and I need somebody just to...
But how sure are you that the person you're looking for that has money will give the money to you? Because even some rich guys belong to is it SMAC?
Oh, SMAC.
The SMAC organization, association.
Association.
Not single men. Yeah. Do they call them the stingy men association? That they have the money, but they're not willing to dish out their money anyhow, anywhere.
So what should be the realistic goal in terms of financial stability of financial?
Let the two of you have an intention of improving on your financial stability together.
But now in Islam, you know that ladies are supposed to be home. They're supposed to sit home mothers. So
it is not a must.
What should her contribution be in the financial?
But still, she has a contribution. How does she manage the finances that you leave behind? Okay. For example, the kameza. How does she manage it? What is her role in prayer for you when you are going to work?
Oh, so she has a role.
How does she utilize the things you bring? For example, if you bring 10 kg of sugar and in 2 weeks the sugar is done with 3 kids at home who are not even adolescents. In fact, even if they are adolescents, 10 kgs cannot go for 3 days or a week. You know, so she's a contributor in that financial stability.
So the goal should be how we grow financially
together.
Year 1, year 2, year 3.
Yes, some women will so, but you know, men change goals, you know, men will marry as many others and all that.
And some ladies even fear to contribute to your financial security because the moment you get the money, automatically
he will get another person.
A second wife, yes.
You know, when you want to be in marriage with peace,
yes,
you must be very sensitive. Because for you saying that I will not contribute something because he will marry,
yes,
you are challenging your own self.
So in other words, they say...
Because remember, this is partnership. The two of us are in this together.
Okay.
So, but I don't deny the fact that as a woman, definitely you must be smart.
Okay.
How do you come smart? Have you known your partner inside and out? Because you can tell someone who will cheat tomorrow. You can tell someone who is not realistic in his life, in his dealings.
Is that
someone who's a cheater and all that.
Marriage or in this courtship phase?
Even in the courtship, you can tell. But you know what is funny? In the courtship, sorry to mention, my sisters only love to go and eat fish, enjoy chicken and chips and all that.
They don't look at
they enjoy the milkshakes. They don't exactly. That's the word. Never at all.
You know, they
don't ask smart questions. They don't go into the depth of the matter.
She's happy when this guy says, "Come, we go to Cafe Java's, we go to
Acacia
Mall."
You pack.
Then he gives her
that
transport
50K,
100.
Then he buys an iPhone.
My guy is so good.
He buys an iPhone. You know those people who are good at dishing out money so much when they're dating. Just know there's something they are taking you through. Sure. You know, when we are in premarital classes, we always tell these people who are dating that we don't encourage in courtship to give so much of big gifts. You are still dating, but you are keeping someone's land title. You are dating someone whose car card is with you, but you are dating. That is deadly because this person somewhere, somehow, is trying to tune you to his side before knowing his real character. And this is very common when it comes to people who have personality issues, the narcissists, people who have very huge disorders, you know.
So he's going to blind you with the money and
definitely that blindfolding is a big deal. So for people who are into this during courtship, you should be sensitive a lot.
Sensitive.
You should be very sensitive and very smart.
That's now to the ladies. Are you telling the ladies to go in for men who who are struggling?
I'm not saying that they should go, but even then, we begin struggling and become better tomorrow, and that's very common. That many people have begun their marriages from a very humble beginning, and today they are somewhere. People who got men that or women that were not members of parliament. 5-10 years in their marriage, today their husbands are mayors.
So the goals they set were very keen.
It's about you being smart.
So you've told us improving religiously. Number 2 was a personality.
People should have that self-awareness.
Self-awareness. They should have a goal of growing
together.
together.
Financially,
even
intellectually.
Intellectually and the rest. Okay, so Hajat, there could be so many others. I know people out there now have been provoked.
They have those points of companionship, society recognition. Others are looking for visas as a goal.
What would be the limitations to people effectively deciding on these goals?
The number one limitation definitely is ignorance. That because people think they know, it is definitely a point that makes them to be not aware that they need help. People think marriage is a bed of roses. I will get a handsome man, a beautiful wife, we shall make a very good marriage. But when they are ignorant, for example, knowing that marriage is an act of worship, it's deen that I'm going to practice. It has got its own principles. It has, yes, knowing that big goal that Allah set for us, that peace. Knowing that you should sit somewhere and learn about marriage, going out to religious scholars who are genuine, going out to professional counselors.
Genuine, what do you mean by genuine? You have who are ungenuine?
Yes, there are people who are ungenuine. They are unrealistic.
Oh, they never promise you.
Sometimes they do things because of what you want to hear.
Oh, so
they don't tell you the
truth.
But people who are genuine will tell you the truth. You accept it or refute it. You know, going out to professional counselors to learn more about. And the other limitation is this, that people who are into courtship,
yes,
always
1 month away to the nikah.
That is deadly.
Yes, 1 month.
That is very dangerous. Going late to those people who are supposed to give them counsel. Because, for example, when you are into premarital sessions,
yes,
you get to learn about what we call compatibility. What are those things that we share in common? At what scale are they? Are they 20 out of 100, or they are 70 out of 100?
Yes,
what are those things that make us to be so much apart from one another? But when you come late,
of course,
you know, we've set the date, we've visited our auntie already, and we've already begun buying the stuff.
Yes. I
have one case I know that after the premarital class, they came at that rush hour, 2 weeks to the event. Just 3 days in the session, the guy realized we are not compatible. But all along they've been dating for 2 years.
2 years.
But at that time said we are not compatible. But we've already visited the auntie. We've started buying the material, so we don't have anything to do. 4 months down the road, the marriage was no more. Why? These people came late to the sessions. You know, it's better to at least wait for 6 months
before confirming that date.
Yes, before visiting even the parents, to be sure that at least this person will be a bit closer in terms of faith, character, and all that.
So Hajat, do you seem to suggest that before we visit the parents, we need to first visit the counselor?
It would be wise.
Be wise.
Because today,
yes,
the parents, they're almost selling their daughters for marriage. It is as if the parents are too desperate for their daughters to get married, that they may not even allow their daughters and sons to go for premarital counseling, because they have sometimes fear. For example, you find a girl who has spent 5 years home after senior 4 class. She has been up and down, and the parent is worried that this man, if he takes a lot of time, or if he gets people to show him ABCD, he might jump out of the case. And parents are worried.
So there are some parents who are praying.
They have that pressure too much.
The pressure is too much on them. Whoever comes there, I'll just give them.
And there are those who have the opportunity and abuse it.
And then abuse it.
So there are so many issues.
So limitation 1 you've said is ignorance. 2 is going late for advice.
Yes.
What other limitation would impede people from effectively setting or intentionally setting goals?
People who pretend to be religious, but when they are not.
People who pretend to be religious.
That this is not deep from the heart, but outside they predict that they show that picture of being good people when it is the opposite. That is very deadly. You'll find that people have done a lot of stuff. Yes, we know we are all humans and we are not angels, but how do you change to be better? How are you willing to improve on yourself?
Yes.
But someone is not willing.
So you're telling them, please
don't look only for dress code and beard and kanzu and, you know, too much Arabic, too much inshallah. It's not about all that, only that. So it must be beyond that, because we said it must be the inside and out of that person you are looking for. That is very important. Then the other limitation comes out to the parents.
Yes. Perhaps
sometimes parents are an obstacle in the life of these people.
In terms of setting goals?
Yes. For example, if a child grew up in an abusive or in a family that is already disorganized,
yes,
this child has already learnt the bad behaviors from home. If the father was battering the mother, this boy can batter in time. If the mother was too quarrelsome, too dirty and all that, this child has already copied those behaviors. So when it comes to the two of you meeting, these people have their own pictures, because what I've realized today is that many people are in marriage, living marriage in line of their forefathers or their grandfathers.
Yes, yes.
Things they copied, whether they are wrong or right, people just come with them in the marriage. That's why it is very hard for people to go for marital counseling. Why? They think they know. What do they know? A man is a man.
They have learned on job.
They've learned from home. They've copied the wrong examples. Though there are those families that are good, that yes, their children have learned good manners. But many of our children, or many of the boys and girls today, have experiences of their own parents' home, and they want to come with those very experiences in these new marriages. So when it comes to setting clear goals,
yes,
these people are not themselves.
They are not themselves.
They are doing things of other people. Actually, it is one reason.
They won't even have unrealistic goals.
Definitely.
Because somebody is saying, I want 15 kids because
my mother got 20.
My mother got 20.
It is
but it doesn't look at the circumstances.
Yes, so that is a very, because as parents, you're supposed to be role models. So if you're a role model, be sure, inshallah, your child will be a better person.
So that was the best gift the parents should give to their son.
It's being role models. Right from childhood, as you nurture your kids. So that is a very big thing. Okay. That's bringing us a big challenge.
That as we are winding up, kindly, in a word or two, tell us on what should be the role of counselors perfectly here, because now the parents, we've seen theirs is to be role models. The religious leaders perhaps should give the spiritual guidance. Now we as counselors who are supposed to be in the business of, what should be that special thing that we should do to ensure that all stakeholders in the marriage institution perhaps appreciate the fact that they need to do?
Definitely it could be awareness of the services that they're there. The counselors should come out. Remember, our profession is one profession that has got a lot of fake people.
Yes.
And many people think counseling is about...
Speakers. Have so many motivational speakers.
You have motivational speakers. Yes. We have so many people that are in our profession,
yes,
that are not really professional, because people think counseling is about talking. It's definitely not talking only. It's beyond talking. It's beyond talking. So when we create awareness that these services are there and people need them, because we always say counseling for all and all for counseling. When people understand that, then we shall be able, and this should be a shared role.
Yes.
For example, the religious leaders team up with the counselors. The counselors team up with the religious leaders to know, what does Islam teach? What does psychology say? To help the community do better.
Thank you very much. Dear viewer, that is Hajjat Nanyanzi Hadija Mariam, who was sharing with us on insights, on strategies, on being intentional in terms of setting goals before you enter the marriage institution. Two things that I've picked up is, one, is counseling is for all and all are for counseling. There is no one that should claim that they have no business to do with counseling. So before you enter that marriage, kind of look out for the counselor. And point number two is the need for different stakeholders to team up, especially Islam. In Islam, the religious leaders, it is high time now that we involve and incorporate counselors in the aspect of guiding the community. If we don't, it is why we have so many cases of domestic violence, cases of marriage breakups, and many other things that don't do well the social system of Islam. Remember, this show is looking at the social system of Islam, Islamic guidance on how society should be built, society should manage itself, society should progress, society should ensure there is development. Now, if we do not have all stakeholders and partners stakeholders partnering, coming together to ensure that the society, communities improve, then we shall have a missing link. We want to thank very much our viewers, those that have been with us from the start of the show. I want to thank our guest, Hajat. Thank you for making time to come and share with us. We hope that when we invite you for future sessions, you kindly give us a positive response. Then remember that if you missed out on some aspects of the show, kindly make it a point to visit the Salam YouTube page, type Salam Alhidaaayah, and then we can always have this as a recap, inshallah. Otherwise, if you have comments, you have feedback, kindly go to the different next media platforms. You can type those comments. They will automatically come to us, and then we'll be able to respond to them as and when we get the opportunity. But Councillor, as perhaps we are winding up, kindly give the members or the viewers your number only in a minute. Then we.
My number is 0702 97 66 90. 0702 97 66 90. They will be talking to the couple strengthening expert.
Thank you very much. So we want to thank the team that we've been working with, Musa on the camera, then Bajed in the control room, plus programs manager, and all that have made this a success. Till next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.